Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making our week 2 predictions. As you can see, last week we went 9-7 overall. Week 1 is always a hard week to predict. We don't know who's good, don't know who's bad yet, don't know who's fallen off. So hopefully this week we do a little bit better. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So the first game of the week 2 schedule, we have the Minnesota Vikings against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm just going to keep this one short. I'm going to go Philadelphia on this one. I know they're going to be missing a lot of key players, but this is a primetime game, and Kirk Cousins is playing for the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. We already know how bad Kirk Cousins is in primetime. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think the fact that they'll be home, this will be a good game for them. And didn't really like what I saw from Minnesota last week. So going to go with the Eagles on this one. Next game, we have the Packers at the Falcons. This one I think would be a little bit harder to predict. Two kind of young quarterbacks still learning the grasp of everything. But I did like what I saw from Green Bay's defense last week. And Atlanta, their offense looked pretty good. At least their run game did. Bijan Robinson, man, he's gonna be special. But looking at this one, I think I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I like their defense a little bit more. Their run game is pretty hard to stop too. I think just overall they're a little bit of a better team. Still, don't know who's good. They're both undefeated, so we still have a lot of questions on both sides. But I'm just going to go with my gut and go with the safe pick. I'm going to go with the Packers to take out the Falcons. Next game, we have the Vegas Raiders visiting the Buffalo Bills. After what happened Monday, is it time for Bills Nation to panic? I don't know. Josh Allen did not look good. I know it's one game, week 1, overreaction, whatever. But they did not look good. And on the Raiders side of it, they got a win, and a win is all that matters. And this is at Buffalo, so this one I actually had a little bit of trouble picking. I think Buffalo will bounce back, but I actually have the Raiders for this one. I just didn't really like what I saw from Buffalo in that first week. And a game I know they always match up poorly against the Jets, but this one I might end up regretting. But I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one. They just play the game, running the ball. Jimmy Garoppolo is just being a game manager, doing whatever he needs to do. So might be a little bit of a shocker, but I am going to go with the Raiders for this one. Who knows? Josh Allen and the Bills could bounce back and show everybody, the team that we thought they were. But as of right now, I'm just going to go with the Raiders, just going with my gut. So give me the Raiders. Next game, we have a division rival. This is a big game. It's a big game for the Bengals. We have the Ravens at the Bengals. Last week, the Bengals only got 3 points, and Joe Burrow did not look great against that Browns defense. So, is it too early to say this is a must-win for Cincinnati? Because if they lose to the Ravens, they'll be 0-2 in their own division already for starters, which could really come back to haunt them later. Baltimore, they looked a little fishy, and Lamar definitely looked like a quarterback who hasn't played since last November. So, just from the standpoint of what I saw last week, I do expect the Bengals to bounce back, but I'm still going to go with the Ravens on this one, in a close one. I mean, I just think that something's going on with the Bengals that they're going to figure out. They do have some new additions to the offensive line, but with the Ravens, they've got some good weapons. Same with the Bengals, but I'm going to go with Baltimore. I'm just going to go with looking at it that John Harbaugh is going to figure out a way to outcoach Zach Taylor and give the Ravens the win. So I am going to go with the Ravens on this one. Next game, we have the Seahawks at the Detroit Lions. So Detroit coming off that big statement win against the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs on their home turf. Big win for them. So they got a nice 10-day rest, and Seattle coming off that loss to the Rams. So these teams matched up last year, and I underestimated Seattle heavy, and I don't want to make that mistake again. I think Seattle, being 0-1 right now, they're going to be the hungrier team. And Detroit, coming off that dub against Kansas City, they might be a little high off that still. So I really don't want to underestimate Seattle like I did last year. They tore us apart last year. I think Geno dropped damn near almost 50 on our heads last year. So I do expect this one to be competitive like last year. But I think that I'm going to go with the Lions on this one. I think they are the better team. I think that Ford Field is going to be as loud as it's ever been. And I think our defense is much improved. I think that's going to be a factor. And we'll see what our offense can do. Last year when we played, we did have a pretty good offense, but it hadn't yet found its groove, even though we did go shot for shot against Seattle. But with my gut on this one, I'm going to go with the Lions. I just think that, we played our toughest game of the schedule. And looking at it, we should be able to handle Seattle. I think it'll be a close game, but I am going to go with the Lions on this one in a close game. Next game, we have two division opponents going at it. Also two first-round quarterbacks from this last year's draft going at it. We have the Colts visiting the Texans. So the Colts, Anthony Richardson looked pretty damn good last year in his last week in his debut, and the Texans defense looked pretty good. C.J. Stroud was a little off, but he's a rookie. Both of them are rookies, so this one I don't know what to expect. I do like the new look Texans with DeMeco Ryans defense. It looks pretty good already from how it looked against Baltimore. But I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. I think Anthony Richardson's going to do a little bit more than C.J. Stroud in this game, and I think that it's going to come to play in this next round. So with that in mind, I am going to go with the Colts in this one. This game right here I'm really excited for. We have the Chiefs at the Jaguars. So on this one, Jacksonville looked pretty good last week, coming off that win against the Colts. And the Chiefs, they just got Chris Jones back. At the making of this video, I don't know if Kelsey's going to come back or not. But Kansas City, I don't even want to say it's a must-win because they're the Chiefs, but feel like they don't want to really start 0-2. I don't think that's what they're looking for. Unfortunately, they do have to go to Jacksonville. Jacksonville looked pretty good last week. But the fact that Kansas City's defense actually held the Lions last week to only 21 points, and one of those touchdowns for the Lions was a defensive touchdown, so they did pretty good. They got a pretty damn good defense, I would say. And many would say that they would have probably won that game if, Kadarius Toney wasn't, selling. So I do expect the Chiefs to bounce back. I think they're going to win this game, and I think everything's going to be okay for the Chiefs. So give me the Chiefs for this one. Next one, we have the Bears at the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay getting that dub last week against Minnesota. Very gutsy team. I think they've got that chip on their shoulder, thinking that everyone's writing them off because Brady's gone, and I think they're wearing that chip proudly. They looked good, and I think they're gonna get the dub on this one. I think that Tampa Bay's defense is gonna be able to, exploit Justin Fields. He's a one-man show right now in Chicago. They don't really have a lot going for them. And I think Tampa Bay's defense is going to really make Fields beat them. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers on this one to take down the Bears. We have the Chargers at the Titans for the next one. So didn't really like what I saw from Tennessee last week. It was a defensive battle for sure against the Saints. And the Chargers, they were in that game. They were going shot for shot with the explosive Dolphins. And I think that for this one, I think the Chargers are going to bounce back. I think they're going to win this game. I just think that, they have a lot more weapons than the Titans, and they'll be able to put up the points. Unfortunately, for the Chargers, they just happen to be going against Tyreek Hill last week, so that's not easy for any team. I like the Tennessee defense. I like Vrabel, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop this Chargers team. So give me the Chargers for this one. Next game, we have the Giants at the Cardinals. Going to keep this one short. Like I've mentioned before, I'm not a big fan of this Cardinals team. I know they're kind of in the sweepstakes for Caleb Williams. So going to go with the Giants on this one. I think after getting beat down by the Cowboys last week on national television, 40-0, getting shut out on their home field, I think they're gonna make a statement and try to make everyone forget about that. So give me the Giants for this one. Got two division rivals going at it for this next one. We have who I think is the best team right now, at least after the first week, the Niners visiting the Rams. I'm going to keep this one short too. Although the Rams looked pretty good last week, the Niners looked amazing. They looked on cue. Brock Purdy does not look like he has skipped a beat at all. And this defense is still elite. And there's just too many weapons, I think, on the Niners side for the Rams to stop. So I'm going to keep this short. I'm going to go with the Niners on this one to take care of business. Go 2-0 against the Rams. The next one, we have the Jets visiting the Cowboys. Two teams with probably top 5 defenses. Dallas, what a show last night they put on, or last week, shutting out the Giants on their home field. This defense looks incredible, and the Jets defense looks incredible too. Very disappointing to see what happened to Aaron Rodgers. It pretty much, destroys their whole season. I know a lot of people are saying, Aaron Rodgers isn't the whole team, but I mean, this is why they were in the Super Bowl bubble. That's why a lot of people had them in their Super Bowl bubble, was because of Rodgers. So Rodgers being out for the season, I think it's a big gut punch. Zach Wilson, I think, is going to be the guy. So I don't know how that's going to work. Give me the Cowboys for this one. I think that their defense is going to definitely make Zach Wilson have to do everything. And I know the Jets aren't going to make it easy for Dak either, but I trust the Cowboys just a little bit more. They have more weapons. I think they have probably the slightly better defense, if not, on par. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys for this one. They'll be at home, so give me the Cowboys. Washington at Denver. Going to keep this one short as well. I think the Broncos bounce back. Didn't really like what I saw from Washington last week. And I think Sean Payton's going to hold the Broncos accountable, and he's going to have a game plan for how to tackle this opponent. So give me the Broncos for this one. Sunday Night Football, we have two division rivals going at it. We have the Dolphins visiting the Patriots. So I know the Patriots lost last week, but Mac Jones looked like he's back. Offense looks a lot better, and I think they got a top 5 defense too, for sure. I think they've got a top 5 defense for sure. Unfortunately, they're going to have to worry about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle now. And Tyreek Hill, what a performance last week. He's already on pace for 2,000 yards. I think that is definitely a thing that is possible. I think it's a goal that he can definitely hit this year. So I guess you could say this is my upset of the week. Maybe I'm picking with my heart a little bit, but I think I'm going to go with the Patriots on this one. And before y'all get at me in the comment section, I know Miami owns New England. I know they have. They've always got the they've always got the playbook for them. They've got the game plan on how to beat the Patriots. Even when Brady was there, they know how to handle the Patriots. I believe Tua is undefeated against the Patriots. So looking at it, I don't know what New England's going to have. I don't know what they're going to do to stop Tyreek Hill. So I could see this being a bloodbath and Miami going off, but I think that New England's defense is going to make it hard for Tua, and they're going to get to him, and I think New England wins this one in a close one. They're going to have to put up points to keep up with Miami, but give me the Patriots in a close one against the Dolphins. All right, we're going to the Monday games. We got 2 division opponents going at it. We have the Saints at the at the Panthers. So I'm going to keep this one short too. I'm going to go with the Saints. They just have a little bit more experience. They have an experienced quarterback leading the reins. Bryce Young threw a couple picks last week, but he's a rookie. It was his first start, so I'm not going to shame him for that. But although this is in Carolina, I think it'll be a good game, but I'm going to go with the Saints on this one. I like their defense a little bit better. And I think Derek Carr, him having that experience is going to show on Monday Night Football. So going to go with the Saints on this one. And the final game to wrap up the Monday night games. In week 2, we have 2 division opponents going at it again. We have the Browns visiting the Steelers. So we have on the one side a team that looked very disappointing last week. And then on the other side we have a team that looked really good last week. Defensively at least. So I think this is I don't want to say it's a must win for Pittsburgh. It's week 2. And Pittsburgh did have to play the Niners last week, so that's no easy task in and out of itself. But I will say that it's on for this one. Cleveland, I think, is going to win this game. I like their defense. I think that they're going to make Kenny Pickett have to be the man and have him win the game. And I didn't really like what I saw from Deshaun Watson last week. Their offense didn't really look good. I don't know how they're going to do against the Pittsburgh defense. I don't think they're going to drop 30 on them like the Niners did, but this is going to be a defensive game. As of right now, after just 1 week though, I like the Browns defense a lot more than the Steelers. Steelers will get their own though. So in a close one, I am going to go with the Cleveland Browns. So those are my picks for week 2. Let me know in the comments who you have, which games we have the same, which games we have different. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe, share the video. And as always, we will see you later.